Kia ora. Welcome to another Sharp Kinane Limited software tutorial. My name's David Kinane. In this latest Fusion 360 tutorial, we're going to be looking at a range of tools. We're going to be looking at the polygon tool, the Loft tool, the offset plane tool, and the shell tool. There's a lot to learn, so let's get right into it. In this third tutorial of Fusion 360, we're actually going to make a model, and my intention here is for you to follow along and try and make the same version of this, or your own version of this model. And as we do that, you'll learn a suite of new tools. So I'm going to start with the draw function and choose my plane. It swings around as it normally does. And now, instead of using tools from this top row here, I'm going to click on the drop down box and I'm going to choose polygon, circumscribed polygon. I'm going to center it on the origin here. By default, it's 6 sided, so it's a hexagon. I'm going to make it 50, no, go back, 5-sided. I'm going to drag this out to, we'll make it 50, so we can see what we're doing. That'll do. So that's the size of the base of my pentagon, and I'm going to finish my sketch. And for the moment, that's all I'm going to do. What we're actually going to be doing here is making a vase, and I want to make a vase, and I want to use the Loft tool. So to do that, I need to now create an offset plane, and an offset plane allows me to create another drawing space away from this first plane that we can then connect with various tools. And so to do that, I'm going to click on Construct and click on Offset Plane. And I choose the plane I want to offset, so it's obviously I want to offset it parallel to the plane I've just drawn. So click on that plane. And now I want to say by how much I want to offset that plane by. So I'm going to choose 100 millimeters. I'm going to click OK. So in effect, what I've got now, if we orbit through this, you can see I've got the base plane and I've got something that's, zoom out slightly. I've got something that's 100 millimeters above that object that I did. So let's carry on drawing now. So I've got 2 planes and I want to be able to connect those in a moment. So come back to the sketch option, click on the plane I want to draw on. It's this one here. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to create another polygon, starting in the center again. This time I want to make it 5. I just eyeball it at the moment. I think I'm going to make it smaller. That'll do us, I think. That'll do. And finish sketch. So now I've got 2 pentagons. And what I want to do is I want to connect them. I want to use the Loft tool. So again, that's under the Create function. So click on the Loft tool. I want to choose my first plane. And then I'll choose my second plane. And now it's created, click OK. If we look at this, it's created this twisted object because I twisted things around. And we can have a bit more fun with this. So I'm just going to look at that. So we've got this twisted object here that we could 3D print off. And I'm going to continue with that. I'm going to put another offset plane. So I'm going to construct another offset plane, this one. And I want to offset it, let's offset it 50. Click OK. And I want to draw again on here, and this time I'm going to reverse my pentagon the other way around. So click on Create, and we're going to come down to Polygon again, center it, circumscribe this one here, and I want to make it 5 again, and I'm going to I want to make it the same as the bottom one. I'm going to make it the same size roughly. There. Finish sketch. And so again, I've now got 2 polygons that I want to connect those together. So let's just orient this so we can see the ones we want to work with. And so now I'm going to click on Create, Loft, choose my plane, that one, and then choose this one. And now it's twisted back the other way. Click OK. So I've now made this twisted vase, or whatever you want to call it, but it's a solid object. So let's just have a orbit round this, have a look at this. What does it look like? Could be quite interesting. We might have to do something with that a bit later on. But there we go, there's an object. So the next tool we want to work out is we want to hollow this out. So what we want to do here is use the shell tool. Click on here, and we could choose the surface that we want to shell. So chosen that, and now I want to choose the thickness. Now what this will do is it will hollow out in the inside object here to a depth that or a width that I choose here, and that means it will go down to 4 millimeters or 5 millimeters, whatever depth I choose or thickness I choose, all the way to the bottom. So let's make this a fine shaped object. Let's make it 3 millimeters, so it's strong enough to stand. Click OK, and we now have a hollowed out object that you could use as some kind of vase. You print it off, I don't know what you do with it. And let's say, just to finish it off, let's just flip around the bottom here and put a circle on the bottom. So we're going to click on this plane here, and we're going to put a circle, again all based on the center. I'm not doing any dimensions this time, I'm just eyeballing this. Return, finish my sketch. We want to extrude that slightly, so let's use the E key. Choose the surface, let's make it 4 millimeters, and then I'm going to use the F key to what we're looking for, 4 millimeters. There we go. Click OK. So in a very short space of time, I have made a vase or some pencil container. It's 15 centimeters tall with a base. Keeps it off the desk or whatever you want to do, and I'm sure we could have a look and experiment and see what would happen if we started to modify all of those. So that is a range of tools that you can use to start creating really quite interesting objects by using let's review the tools that we have used. We used the we use the polygon tool, which you can find down here, polygon tool. We close this, finish the sketch. We used, under construct, we used the offset plane tool. We used the loft tool, and finally we used the shell tool. So there's some new tools for you to use. Hopefully you had a chance to have a go at making this. Be quite interesting to print it out and see how it works. Thank you for watching this Sharp Canane tutorial. Until the next one, ka kite anō.